How we doing, brothers and sisters in Christ? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Patrick, End Time Watchman. Thank you so much for all the encouragement and support on my last video. Your guys' comments were truly amazing. You guys were teaching me things that you saw, and you said that I showed you some things that maybe you didn't see before. So that's wonderful. I love hearing things like that. Now, today's video is kind of like its own separate thing. But tomorrow's video, I'm praying that I can get this video out tomorrow. Guys, this is amazing. Like I said, I don't hype up my own videos. It's not why I'm saying it. I prayed to the Lord several days now, and all of a sudden this study came out of nowhere. And I truly think that it is the timing of the rapture, and actually has a day count associated with it. So that's why it's so exciting, and we're right in the season. So let's get into this. No matter how hard you try, you can't work your way to heaven. It is by grace and through faith in Jesus Christ, okay? Christ paid it all on the cross. On the cross, he shed that perfect, innocent blood. He said, "It is finished." At that moment, all sins of the entire world were paid for if you accept that free gift through faith, through his grace, okay? By your faith through his grace, you will be saved. So, always putting the gospel in my videos. Now let's get to what I found. All right, today we're looking at the 153 fish. All right, I kind of hinted at this on another video, but this deserves its own video because this is pretty incredible. So I start thinking, why 153 fish? And, here it is. Here's that great multitude. Jesus said, "Cast your nets on the right side of the ship." They had been trying to fish all night without catching anything. Then Jesus is standing on this shore, see him there, and they pull up a great multitude of fish, all right, in their nets. Kind of rapture typology. All right, let's look at this. John 21:11. Simon Peter went up and drew the net to land the full of great fishes, even 153, and for all were so many, yet was not the net broken. All right, so they pulled up the 153 fish. They drew them in the nets. All right, John 20:26. And after 8 days again his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Jesus, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst and said, "Peace be unto you." All right, so this is 7 days after the resurrection. So resurrection was on Nisan 17 or 117, so this is 124. I know it says 8 days because he was counting the day of. It's 7 days from the resurrection. So it's the first day of the week again, the same day, Jesus would have been resurrected 7 days later. Now he's appearing to Thomas. The whole point of this is I started thinking of 153 as a day count. I failed to mention that previously. But when do we start the day count? I showed this in other videos, but I want to rehash it because it's so important. All right, so now the next verse, John 20:27. Then saith he to Thomas, "Reach hither thy finger, and behold my hands, and reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing." Okay, so that goes right with Deuteronomy 16:9. This is the day count to Pentecost, or Shavuot, in my opinion. 3:15, Savan 15. All right, 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. All right, that word "to put" right here is Hebrews 24:90, and it means to bore, to pierce. You can look at the examples down here at the bottom. Let me get rid of that. In the hand of one's wounding thee. Look at pierced by the sword. My heart is pierced, wounded. All right, so Jesus is saying, thrust your fingers into where the spear pierced me in my side, okay? 100% you start the day count on Nisan 24, 7 days after the resurrection. Now this is the Greek, all right? That word, look, it means to thrust. So once again, tying this to Deuteronomy, 16:9. All right, so now we have our starting point of Nisan 24. Let's look at that with the 153 fish as a day count. So the way I set this up is you have the Hebrew dates on the left-hand side, and then you have the day count on the right. So obviously starting with 153, and for example, as we add 6 days from Nisan 24 to come to IR1, that's 6 days, so I minus 6 days on the right-hand side. All right, so we'll quickly go through this, but that way you guys know. So the way the Hebrew dates work is they're alternating 2930, 2930, 2930. All right, so Nisan had 30 days, that's why I added 6. Now, IR only has 29, so I added 29 to get the Sivan. Then I added 30 to get the Tammuz. Then I added 29 to get the Av. I added 30 to get to Elul, all right, which we're coming up on. And then I added 29 and I came to trumpets, all right, the first day of the 7th month. And what's interesting, I have 1 day left. Why is that? Because trumpets is a 2-day event. So I believe this 153 fish was a day count. And once God showed me that you begin the count when he asked Thomas to pierce his wound, to thrust his fingers. Oh, another announcement. Sorry, guys. I said it's 102 plus degrees outside, so I couldn't do it out in the car. But he asked Thomas to pierce his fingers into his wound. That was telling us when to do the day count. Adding 153 days takes you right to trumpets. All right. Now, this year's trumpets, we have an annular solar eclipse on October 2nd. So I think God 100%, Genesis 1:14 said they would be for signs, showed us this date. All right, he marked it as a special day. Now let's look at an example in 2017. We had all those signs, right? We had the Great American Eclipse, and we had the Revelation 12 sign that year. We're coming up on the 7-year anniversaries of both. All right, so Nisan 24 that year was on April 20th. All right, just to show you the day count. Trumpets was from the evening of September 20th going through September 22nd. And then remember, the Revelation 12 sign occurred just after trumpets on Tishri 3, which connects with Exodus 34. I've done that in a video. Both the eclipse on Elul 1 and Revelation 12 was the 33-day count. Moses was up on the mount, got the covenant of Israel into him, and then 7 days, remember it said, and it came to pass he came down with the tablets, the new covenant. 7 days later, he comes down on the Day of Atonement. So 100%, Revelation 12 was the covenant on Exodus 34. Elul 1, the eclipse, was when Moses saw the Lord coming down on a cloud with a shout. All right, so Rapture typology, I'm still looking at Elul 1, but with my study that I'm putting out tomorrow, really looking at trumpets. All right, I'm going to give you fair warning on that. So once again, trumpets started sundown September 20th. So April 20th, look at April 20th to September 20th, 153 days, and that would go for every year. All right, so from Nisan 24 to trumpets is 153 days. So I'm looking at it as the story of Elijah. Remember, I did that in my other video. There was 3 sets of 3 captains, and then they were captains over 50 men. So you had 50 men and a captain, 50 men and a captain, 50 men and a captain. Once again, the 153 was mentioned, and then in the next chapter, Elijah is raptured. So I do believe that this 153 day count is signaling the day count to the rapture. All right, is that all I had in this video? I believe that it was. Like I said, this 153 day count would go as the 3 days, if I'm thinking about this correctly, from the time that he tells Thomas to pierce his side. All right, 3 days would take him to when they caught the fish. Then you add 47 days, that would take you to Shavuot. From Shavuot, 50 days would take you to Av 9, new wine. And then 50 days from Av 9 would take you right to Tishri 1. So you have 3 sets of periods of 50 days. Okay, so pretty amazing. And like I said, the video tomorrow I think is going to be a blessing. I know I was literally in tears when I found all this information. In the end, it shall speak, right? The Lord in Amos 3:7 said that he would not do anything unless he told us ahead of time. So be encouraged, guys. We are right in the last days. If you are not saved, remember, do not trust in your works. All right? It's all by his grace, the grace of Jesus Christ and his finished works on the cross, and your faith in believing and putting all your trust into it. God bless, guys. I love you. Be encouraged. All right, stay in the word, stay in prayer, lift each other up. If you have praises or prayers, put them in the comments. I'll see you guys soon.